The reason why I want to delete all the social media apps on my phone is I want my brain back. It's that simple.
Hey Emma, what drum kit do you use?
Am I too old to start playing drums?
Should I get lessons?
How do I play that?
cost
When
so
will I
much?
start sounding good?
Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Missing a Beat, the podcast where we talk about drumming related things, and we probably dance around the subject and topic of drums in general. Hopefully you enjoy. Or don't. I mean, that's up to you. Either way, what are we going to talk about this week, Chris?
Drumming on social media. Is it all gospel chops and stick tricks, or is that just your algorithm?
Am I going to give my 2 cents on this?
Yeah, go on.
I think chops and just mentally brain tickling things that please our monkey brain will be what's on your feed, because that's what short form media is all about. That's my 2 cents.
It also depends what it is that you're looking for. The problem is that when you see a crazy stick trick or something, you naturally pause, and therefore the algorithm is going to go, you're interested in this, let's send you another 27 of those style videos. And so you get into that trap of seeing those same things. Whereas if you want to not see that, because there's a lot of great content out there that isn't that whatsoever, like I'm thinking of like Pocket Queen, for example. Like she plays just grooves, man, right? And yet that's also still like hugely viral in itself, and obviously she plays very well, and there's none of that kind of vibe going on at all. But it's very easy to get pulled into that whole world of chops and stick tricks and all those things. And I think if you want to get out of that, because you see that a lot, just start searching for other things inside that platform, and it will start to feed it to you at some point. So
ironically enough, I don't have many drummers on my feed because I just don't really engage with the content. Does that make
me either
bitter and twisted? I don't know.
Not at all. No, we had a similar discussion about not listening to music sometimes when you're driving, right? It's a similar thing. Like you come out, especially if you come out from a gig, and people think that's crazy. I often have silence when I'm driving, right? And that's the same kind of thing. You don't want to go on social media then see more drums. You've just made 6 drum videos.
Yeah, I think actually the videos that kind of have got me, the one that jumps to mind is like a video of Steve Gadd just playing a groove or something, and you're just like, oh my god, that's amazing. How is it so good? That's the kind of thing that gets me in. But that might be just because as a musician, you appreciate a different thing, I suppose. But I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. What do non-musicians watch in terms of drum content? If you're a non-drummer, I mean, I'm baffled that you're here. But what kind of drum content are you picking up on? Is it like video tutorials that you're going, yep, I'm going to play drums, save? Because I get quite a lot of comments about like stuff like that. What engages people? Is it just the fast, flashy stuff, or is it the nice grooves and pocket stuff? Like, drums are not there. Editor is going, no, not at all. See, this is why we need to give you a mic.
Yeah, I think Bex needs to have a mic on this. For the next episode,
the normie needs a mic.
Yeah. So we can pull her into this and use her as examples of from a non-drumming perspective. It would be quite good to have that sometimes, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The voice of God going, You have to speak for every other person on the planet. I hope you know.
No pressure. But I've lost my train of thought. It's fine. I'm not even going to try and say.
Drumming on social media, is it all just flashy stuff? I think long form stuff, YouTube and things like that, you get the longer stuff. But again, it's usually these crazy covers of things that do well. Like, because that's just how the human brain is built, especially for social media. It's the currency is attention. So that's seemingly just the way it's gonna be. Even for me doing educational stuff, it still has to be entertaining. Exactly. Otherwise it has to have that fine line of both.
I think you're right. It's because you're fighting for attention, aren't you? So I think that's something that I'm going to relate it to this, because why not? We talked about it off air, and maybe this is helpful for some people. Because the reason why I put this as a topic forward was because sometimes people are just seeing all these flashy things online. They can't play any of it, and it's disheartening, discouraging, right? So that's why I brought this into the frame. But like, there is other options. I know you're probably listening to us on a social media platform right now, but you can turn it off. And I'm mentioning it because we were having this conversation before we went on air. Emma was talking about limiting her time on socials. You can come away from that and go into a real gig and just watch some real musicians, where you'll have much less of that in most environments, I would say, right? So come off of the computer, go into join a band and spend more time looking at that. If that's something that social media has a negative impact on you from that, have a break from it too, right? You know, yes, we put some lessons on social and people appreciate that and they learn a lot from it, but like, if it also feels tiring, then you can pull yourself off of that, and there's places to learn outside of social media, although it is free and great.
I think also the things that go real viral are some of the best players in the world, potentially, or the best at playing that one specific thing in that one specific style. And then you're seeing all this content of people playing different styles, different this, different that, all their individual things. And you have, like, for me, I think potentially the reason I don't watch that much content of it is it's so easy to compare yourself. It's so easy to beat yourself up for not practicing and not playing and going, yeah, I could play that, but also I just don't want to. But I feel like I should be able to, because this is where the bar is at. And that's not the point of any of it. And different people have different skill sets. And like I say, you just have such an abundance of information and different things, licks, just random chops, like everywhere. It's hard to know even what to kind of focus on. So it's just an overabundance of, I think, information. What's
made you come to that final decision of coming off of social media on your phone? Obviously, you're still going to log in and respond to comments and do your like duties as a content creator, but as a punter, so to speak. Then
the reason why I want to delete all the social media apps on my phone is I want my brain back. It's that simple. Like, we're so, and it's no one's fault particularly that we've created this thing called social media that is built to like just satiate our brains constantly. And it can be incredibly useful. The tool is, as social media as a tool, namely, especially long form content, for example, on YouTube, you can learn anything. That's amazing. But there's always going to be the flip side, which is, in this case, content trying to grab your attention all the time, meaning you aren't present in your life day to day. And I think this is a thing also for younger generations, especially, have grown up with all of this. Like, I've just spent my entire life on YouTube consuming content, which in some ways is a benefit because I know how to therefore create it, because I've just absorbed so much of it.
Yeah.
But now, especially as I'm getting a bit older, I'm like, for example, last year, I was like, amazing stuff happened last year. But my brain was so full all the time with content that I didn't even care about. And that's the thing I've noticed, is I don't care about the things I'm looking at, but my brain is like, ooh, amazing, cool. But I don't actually feel that way. It's just kind of filling the silence, if that makes sense. So when I actually sit in silence, my brain catches up and goes, oh, all these thoughts, all these things. And it means I'm missing out on creative ideas and the things I actually want to do and the things I want to create, because it's actually easier to sit in front of a computer and just absorb other people's content. So I just want to be a better content creator, guys. That's what I want. I just want to be present. I want to get rid of this brain fog. That's what I want. So that's my reasoning. We'll see how it goes.
Coming back and summarizing this a little bit, if your algorithm is full of this stuff, okay, go and change it. If you're not going to come off social media, go and be more active when you're watching stuff. And for example, let's just take Instagram. Instead of going on the reels and scrolling through, or going on the main home page and scrolling through, you see your friends, what they're doing, and other things that get interspliced with that. Go into explore, into the search, and search specific things, and be more active with your use of social media than just scrolling, right? So get out the scrolling habit and get more into like actually searching things. So, you know, how to do this. TikTok's become really good for this, right? So you could just go on TikTok on the desktop, so it avoids the kind of scrolling habit that you have, and type in, you know, how to do X, Y, and Z, the same as YouTube. And so I think you could in turn, that would probably change your algorithm up anyway, and you'd get more of that
Definitely.
positive stuff coming through, because you can get some really good stuff from social media, and we'd like to hope that we try to provide that, but we're also aware of the dangers of it, of just getting stuck into that. And so that's what I would say. You can probably change your algorithm a bit, or come off it and have a break, but those are the two things that I would say on this if it's something that you're struggling with.
There is another angle I would like to talk about here, specifically being a female drummer. I often get comments being
yes, this is
like, I'm glad that you're not half naked and just talking about things. And it's interesting because it's such a polarizing thing, these kind of thirst trappy drumming videos where girls are doing whatever they want to do because it gets views and it gets attention, and people should be able to express themselves however they like. But what I find is just how polarizing it is. It's like somehow these drummers who do this are just selling themselves out, and they're actually, no good or whatever, and they only have success because they've got out. Like, I say, you do you. Like, whatever you do it. If you enjoy it, that's the real question. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It's about the creator and how they feel about it. If they feel fulfilled doing that thing, like, great. Amazing. If it makes it feel like this is the personal expression that you want to put out, fantastic. But then people just come along and just, as generally happens on the internet, people have opinions. Surprise, surprise, shock, horror. People who are judging them, pipe down or get your one or the other. Big disclaimer. Providing you are of age, get out. Do you want?
It's brilliant advice, Emma. What a great way to finish the podcast.
No, Chris, you are welcome. You're welcome. Don't thank me.
Okay, I'm going to leave with no comment on any of this.
Oh, God. If you would like to hear more podcasts where we talk about getting while playing drums, then you're in the right place. Feel free to check out any of the other podcasts we have done talking about many other drum-related topics. Have a great week. Big love.